What is going on, everybody? Welcome to ESL TV with myself, Machine. We've got some Battlefield coming up, and we're kind of breaking me in as my first time solo casting here with some Battlefield 4. Obviously, it's the ESL One. We do have, I believe it's Cup 3 now. I did Cup 2 last week, so yeah, we're into Cup 3. We're into the semi-finals. We've got 2 semi-finals and, of course, the grand final coming up. First game we're going to be bringing you is going to be MYM Epsilon, which is a game I'm excited for, primarily, especially knowing that these guys have got a little bit of a rival, a little bit of a back and forth coming into this one. I believe it was last Cup, Cup 1, sorry, MYM Epsilon met in the grand final. This time they're meeting in the semis, and at the end of that one we saw Epsilon coming up with a 2-1. So they're going to be looking to prove themselves, MYM here. We watched them play earlier. They're looking incredibly strong, but right now I'm excited to be getting into that game. I believe we're going to be ready to go live. I'm just going to inform the admins. And we're going to be going into game. Those of you in chat, guys, do let us know your predictions. I always like to see them and see what you guys are thinking. I'm edging. I'm not really too sure at the moment because I watched MYM play and I was pleasantly surprised. I think they're a team who are can be hit and miss, especially online. I know offline they can really bring it when it matters, but online it's a different matter. I mean, offline you've got Safe staring you in the face. You know, he's looking at you. He's the one that gets the team motivated. Maybe that doesn't transfer so well online, but we'll see. Remains to be seen. And for those of you thinking, who is this guy? Who is this strange man? This isn't Pansy, this isn't Jason. I am the new face of Battlefield 4 as well, just recently joined the team, and I'm looking forward to bringing you guys much more Battlefield 4 action. We can have a little look over the brackets while we wait for everything to kick off. In fact, no, I don't know if we have time. I'll have a quick look into game. I think we're live on restart, so we should probably jump into that. Ta-da! Fantastic. So let's see what we have on offer as the 50-second countdown goes. I'm going to do a quick roster rundown for you guys at home. So, MYM, rocking Flax, Ducky-chan, Oscar Wow, Punchroll, and Waffy. And over on Epsilon, we do have Marsu, David, Duke, not PT. It's just Duke. He's letting us know very specifically in his name. I think I've been in a bit of a sinner calling him Dukept before, I think, as well. Horek and Mayek as well. So, good lineups from both teams. We're going to get in with, I believe we're going to see MYM. There we go. Oh, got it right. MeetYourMakers on the left-hand side of your screen and Epsilon on the right. So 20-second countdown continuing. They're just going to be playing for that good spawn. We're going to see where they go. Obviously, we're going to see most of that bloodbath over at that B site. However, previously we did see the A site being a point of reference for the MYM side. They really kind of fought for that one, sent a lot of players early when on the US side, but we'll see how this goes. I think Epsilon's setting their sights on an early B push, but still sit in this tabletop and we'll see where this game goes. David's got a heart set on A, but there's going to be 2 players to receive him. In the meantime, though, it's going to be a 4v2. That's looking pretty confident for Epsilon in that mid side, so we're going to jump over towards A site and see what Oscar Wow can bring in while capturing this. It's a quick capture, but can we see the retake? Still alive, right next to him. He hasn't got a clue, hasn't got the foggiest. Let's see how David plays this. He's being very quiet, but he has been spotted by Punchroll. He is going to go down, and that's going to be a very, very nice start from MYM with that A secure. Now, B site, it can be one of those tough ones. Leaving them that central spawn, which when you have that central spawn, it's very, very easy to rotate to C and A and then make an absolute nightmare for the defending team, which is, of course, right now MYM. There's bloodbath going in around this B site. See what Oscar Wow's got in his stores. That building has been completely destroyed, as has Duke, as he goes down to the Ace 23. So, 148 to 133, very strong start, but C is actually looking in trouble, or it was. Ducky-chan on the defense played it beautifully. This is our site, especially when those fences get destroyed. You're very in the open. You just got to sit behind those boxes and pray. Obviously, you can see how close it is to that B site. Ducky-chan under some serious fire. Going to have to hit the prone button hard as he's going to be playing for the regen. Gets away so far. And look, it looks like we're going to see a little bit of a question mark over on that A site. David, the man behind it, he knows the players are going to be coming for him, but he has managed to remove it from enemy hands. He's going to be taken straight back as Oscar Wow picks up the frag. Right now, though, we're looking at a little push from Horek. Horek, the man who, if anyone from Epsilon was going to do it, it would be him, the rotation king. Just hanging around the fences. Doesn't want to make his presence known just yet. Hopping over that wall as well. Here he comes. Beautiful play from his teammate, actually, there. to secure that flag. We're going to see C going over to them, and this is where the response needs to happen. Punchrul's got it in mind. He knows that he needs to get his body on that B site, but right now, they're not really being able to find a way in. Oscar has kind of got to sit back as a bit of a spawn point for his team right now, not go too heavy, and he's doing just that. Manages to take down Mek in the process, looking for a second, not going to happen. Duke on a millimeter of health with the Ace 23. And you can see Punchrul hasn't really moved. He's got this position, sitting there as a spawn beacon, doesn't want to have his team forced to spawn all the way over that A side. And still, tickets favouring MYM, but the question remains, how long will it last? We've seen that C and B captured, looking for the trip cap, and there it is, Epsilon. After sitting so quietly, just with that B site, they've managed to pull it all together to bring that deadly, especially on a map like this, that deadly trip cap. The bleed is going to be very, very heavy. To watch those tickets just slip away now from MYM, and Punchrul is looking to go into damage control. Edging around, see what he can find, actually. He's not really looking too confident around this B site. He doesn't want to push in just yet. He's obviously playing for the revives right now. Someone knows he's there. It's going to be Marsu. He's just hunting through the house. In the meantime, though, we do see a push around this C flag. Look at this. It's going to be a 2v2. My money's on Punchrul. I've just lost a lot of money. He does go down to Horek yet again, who's been holding this C flag for pretty about 2-3 minutes now already. He's kind of pushed it initially and hasn't really left. He obviously likes it here. I suppose it's quite nice, lots of trees, shrubbery. It's a nice place to hang out, but right now, finally, the B flag does go over back to MYM, but the damage is done. 90 tickets to 110 now. That 20-ticket lead, we'll see how long it lasts as Mek is making his way through the trenches. Looking to get a bit of a higher ground, just spot one. Very vulnerable player for MYM. I need to find out who that is. We'll see if it works out for him as he's going to continue through the trenches. Looking to find a pick, and they're not giving him anything right now. MYM, they're picking up the frags, but they're not picking up the flags, as that C does remain under Epsilon control. They have managed to bring A back, and that's going to be good. Watch those final tickets start to level out around that 90 mark. In the meantime, though, we'll see what Horek's got. He did a great job on C. He's finally moved, stretching his legs, going for a stroll, and he's actually causing some serious concern on this B flag. The building has been utterly destroyed. You can see the engineer class from both sides is being put to good use, kind of making it as difficult as possible to hide and defend from those buildings. And look how difficult it is. Those stairs used to be a safe pathway up, and now they're just rubble. David does go down to Ducky-chan, though. It's a bit of a back and forth in terms of frags. We can see 25 to 20, so not much in it. But neither in tickets. I was about to say, but the 20-ticket lead, and as the 20 seconds has passed, we've lost it completely. Nice play from Duke. He does go down, as well as Flax finally managing to put him in his place. It's one of those one-for-one situations, but Mek is there with the revive, trying to keep any ticket sacred and keep it safe. Right now, though, A flag all alone for Epsilon. Team that did hold that trip cap for a good 20-30 seconds have been left out in the cold now on the beach. They've got to make the move in, and we'll see how it pays off. Ducky-chan on the roof, just hanging out, and that's exactly why he did actually manage to miss the shots. Surely going to pick it up in the end, and he's going to get the revive as well. You hear that sound now, courtesy of the new patch, giving that sound just to let you know when you're going to give them that full health revive. I think it's pretty cool. There's lots of actually other exciting things in this patch that are worth mentioning. You can see right there with the sights, the more responsive sights now. It's a kind of more accurate representation of where the bullets are going, which is a lot of these changes are really good kind of quality of life changes for the battlefield scene. And in the meantime, 80 to 73. Looking good for the US side, but by such a small margin, it's debatable how long this can go. And look at that, a very, very short-lived trip cap. Could be returning, though, as they do manage to take the Sinner down. It was Mek to capture it now. And that's going to be domination. Pretty confident, actually, at the moment. They're kind of, every time we see Epsilon, they're sitting on one site. They sat on A, they sat on B, and they've just been happy with that 2-1, and then immediately just spread out, swarm around the whole map, and pick up the easy trip cap. But for how long, we can see right now, immediately response from MYM. They pick up, let's get it right. They do pick up the A flag as well. So straight away, that trip cap has been neutralized and straight back to that AC hold. Right now, MYM are really kind of showing how to hold it. They're leaving Ducky over on this C flag. As Duke has just completely destroyed the defense with the Ace 23. He's going to be bringing that C flag under control for Epsilon. And he knows that there's going to be more after. They're trying to clear the fence. This is the fence that looked so very pristine when it was under enemy control. We saw MYM, they left the fences up. They saw it as an advantage. But as soon as Duke gets there, you make sure It is no more. Right now, though, B flag is where the action is. We need to draw attention to that. Body's falling left, right, and centre. Ducky, the only man who's still left alive. Going to be trying to do a revive on Flax, but more concerned about his well-being, and rightfully so. He's heavily tagged. He isn't going to go down just yet, though. Spots another on that roof. Roof? More of a hill. But regardless, we'll jump in to see David as he does push on to try and find him. He's gonna. Ducky Chan goes down. He's looking for the second as well. This is going to be a very good push from Epsilon as they're going to manage to secure B whilst, oh, I was going to say whilst maintaining C, but in the meantime, we do miss Punch Rule, bringing C under MYM control, flying that US flag high. And that's going to be good news for MYM. Epsilon looking to change things, though, on A side. They know that that's probably the best thing for them. They know C has been a bit of a difficult one. But with a team consisting of Marsu, you know that he's going to be sitting pretty confidently, not confident enough. Flax picks up the double to secure A. He's going to be keeping that one safe in safe hands. And we do see David now opting for the 1v2. Nope, now he's changed his mind. He considered it. Playing it safe, playing for the regen. And instead just trying to get those nades out. Try and get a frag without having to lay down his life. Lays it down for nothing. And it was in vain as we do see that 50 tickets. Finally, that 20 ticket lead has emerged yet again. MYM, Waffy at the helm as well. You can see he's sat on 4 for 10. The man is at the bottom of the scoreboard. But you can actually see points-wise as well. I was going to say I thought he'd been on site. So every time I flick to him, he's been trying to cap a flag. Obviously, it's not been going too well when you're sat on only 4 for 10. Flax up and down, very slow and steady with Flax. Doesn't kind of overcommit. He knows when he should push, when he should just sit by. And this is a bad example of it working, as we do see Marsu taking his time as well. Fight fire with fire. Ducky Chan under scrutiny with the Magnum. Gonna try and get away from this one. He's playing, just try and get a little bit more health. He does succeed in doing so, sitting on that kit. But in the meantime, 10 tickets remain. Epsilon looking to watch this first half slip away. Mayx on 12 frags, and yet still nothing really to show for it. 45 ticket deficit. It's going to be a tough one in this first half, and Epsilon know it. They started really well. They had the trip cap thing. You know, they've had 3 trip caps. One of them was incredibly short, but they've had 3 trip caps in this game, and that should be representing in tickets. The fact that it isn't suggests that the overall game has just been all up in MYM's favour. These 1v1s on A especially. Flax has been a man that's pushing it alongside his buddy. I believe it was Punch Rule that was first there. He was the man that kind of charged there at the start. But both of them kind of really did great work in bringing the A flag back under control every single time. That was their kind of goal, I think. They set those 2 players. If A isn't in our control, you make it our control. And that was their role in this one. And it's been a great role, managing to bring this game to a close at 33 tickets. Not a bad first half for MYM. Epsilon, they're going to have to do something different in that first half. I don't think the game plan they came in with was particularly the right one, but we'll see where this goes in the second half. Quick look at the scoreboards while we have them up. We can see Oscar out the top for MYM with a beautiful 15 for 9. In the meantime, there is actually, to be fair, the kills were very level. There's no doubt that these teams are quite evenly matched. It has to be reiterated that, of course, Epsilon did win the last time these teams met in Cup 1. This isn't the grand final, this is the semi. Maybe Epsilon aren't putting just as much weight as they had in the first cup, but it's great that these teams are meeting again, and MYM, they have a lot to prove in this one, so we'll see where it all goes. And we're going to be going into the second half with a question mark around Epsilon's trip cap kind of sitting on B. I think maybe if they'd sent a couple players earlier towards that A flag, we saw them just send 1 in contrast to MYM's 2. It may have been a different story, but straight away they all opted to throw as many players to B. They kind of gave up on the other side, so they said we'll get B and then trying to retake it, but the sheer skill it took to defend those sites, A and C, all they did was just sit back and hold them, stop MYM from getting in, and it was real. I mean, it was testament to how Epsilon stopped Epsilon from getting in. But I mean, it was just testament to how it can be a bit of a mistake to go for that high quality target. You know, the high value B site, as great as it is to cap it, if you can't then go on and push your numbers towards one of the other 2 sites, it's just going to be a bit of a dead end for you. And that initial kind of ticket deficit may or may not have cost them. Regardless, though, nice and in true ESL One fashion, we're going to be going straight into the second half. We'll see what the plan is for this one. Let's have a little look over the tabletop. We can see exactly where they're planning on pushing. I really want to see, especially on this side, I want to see 2 Epsilon players push A. Let's see if they take my word for it. I think obviously we're going to see that split over to C, and then it's this battle in this middle area. I think the buildings are going to get destroyed early. Keep your ears alert for the rockets that are going to be flying in left, right, and of course center on that B flag. Still, 20 seconds on the countdown. My money is, we're going to have a look at the way they're positioning. Where on earth is MYM going to play this? Are they going to leave that A flag? I know that they held it so very well in the first half. We'll see if they can do the same again. Right. Off we go, and look at this. This is almost exactly the same strat that Epsilon executed. Can we see it done better this time? Completely abandoning that A flag. Not interested in that one. In the meantime, Oscar with the engineer class is going to be destroying as much as he can in this B central area. Oscar looking to get some more rockets in there, and look at this. This is actually quite interesting. Ducky-chan immediately after his team secured B, instead of sitting back and trying to defend B, he's pushed out, he's extended as far as he possibly can, but it's gonna cost him. He was trying to maybe be a bit cheeky with that one, with the CZ of David, and it's a weapon that we're gonna see a lot more of in this kind of SMG-worthy environment. In the meantime, Flax goes down as well. 1v1s this time going in favor of Epsilon on that US side. We can have a little look and see how it's gone. They have exactly the same hold that the previous side we saw MYM take. So right now, Punch Rule, very nice, gets his teammate to spawn on him on that A flag, the C flag, sorry. And now with a BC hold, the only person that really do anything is Mars, who's charging around, being a bit quiet, doesn't want to reveal his location just yet. He doesn't need to. On the prowl. Very quiet, he doesn't want to reveal it. He knows that there's going to be a defensive player around here, or there at least should be, and there isn't. So, I mean, at the moment, Marsu is actually just wasting time, not going straight for the cap on C. In the meantime, the man that was there, it was Flax, has left his duty, left his post to take down Duke on that A flag. Very, very nice work. And yes, we're seeing MYM, as the dust does finally settle, are caught in a very similar situation as Epsilon were in that first half. Flax caught off in the beach. He's going to manage to get away with a nice play on towards David, and that's going to mean that the A flag remains MYM. Look at that, flag changing yet again. The A flag, it's almost like A is the new B in this season. Normally we do see this kind of one team gets A, one team gets C, and then you just have a brawl at B. But I mean, maybe with the kind of destruction we see on this map, this is a map that you're very prone to see almost the whole B side completely leveled with the engineer class at the moment. Whilst that is happening, instead it's more of a kind of battle for A. So interesting to see how it's playing out. We'll see what Mayek's got for us at the moment, as he's going to be roaming around. Did land the tag, but failed to pick up the frag, as the entire Epsilon side really needs to keep hold of C whilst also pushing on towards this B flag. But look at this line, MYM creating a defensive perimeter that they should be proud of, because anything that they try and do, anything that they push towards that B flag is just being shut down right now. Tickets favouring MYM slightly, but we'll see how long that lasts. AB hold. A is being captured. I don't know who that's by. It's David. David has managed to crouch around. Not usually the player you'd see doing that for Epsilon. Obviously looking to change roles and do it just beautifully. Managed to just about get away from that nade. He's going to be living to see another day, diving into the trenches to play for that regen. But that's enough. The trip cap has come in, and Epsilon responding in force. Really impressive stuff from them. Bringing the trip cap. That's going to start the bleed. It's going to be a heavy one, as the ticket's going to fall away from MYM. Wolfie quick to respond on that C-cap. And he's going to pick up the frag as well. One, looking for the second. Boom! Headshot. David does go down. Very nice from Wolfie. And, you know, I think Pistol's got a little upgrade in the patch. I'm not going to be so bold as to say exactly what, but I do remember seeing a change to the Magnum. I think it was something to do with recoil. But again, I should probably stop talking before I embarrass myself. But again, levels of the tickets are pretty equal right now, 105 to 106. I feel like that doesn't fairly represent how well Epsilon have been playing in this kind of mid-game. But right now, fair enough to MYM. They've managed to hold on to it. I think it's a lot to do with this defensive positioning from all of these SMGs. All of them, he says, as there's just one in the form of Horek and Oscar Wow on the opposing side. Both of them are diving around really... I haven't seen Horek stand still for a second right now. Constantly repositioning and whoa! Laying down the s'more this time onto Waffy as that rocket travels across the map into the brain of the MYM player. Horek playing for the time for the nade, going to be coming around for a second, picks it up as well, and this man is just rotating around, and as great as that may be, the B flag has changed hands. This time MYM flying their flag, and they see the B site and the A site both going to be captured. As I say that, I may be speaking a bit too soon, as 3 players from Epsilon spawn in on this beach. They're looking to invade, and they're doing just that. Takes down one, punch roll falls, and then Mayek at the forefront of this push is going to secure that flag as well. So great response. And this presence at B is testament to what Epsilon do so well. Horek, he's look at him, he's got 3 players around him, but the fact that he's still there, now on a 4-kill streak, all he needs to... Oh, Horek, somebody stop him. He's just this constant, annoying, buzzing B. That is who Horek is, and he does it so very well. He forces 3 or almost 4 players to defend against that B flag, and that means that they can capture A so very, very easily. He's great asset for Epsilon, and I think it's reflected in his kills. He's on 8 for 7. Highest beneath him is, of course, on 6, and that's going to be Duke. But, you know, he pays a heavy price. He's on 7 deaths alongside Marcy, who has a beautiful 10. The man just keeps dying. Somebody needs to let him know that it's actually kills he needs and not deaths. On 4 for 10 alongside David, 4 for 9. 92 to 65, though, has to remain... have to be mentioned that Epsilon, this Horek play around that B site has been so very good and instrumental in this initial ticket lead. But right now, that trip cap is going to be rubbing salt into the initial wound. We see Horek's going to start his push onto B again. And he is finally going to be shut down. We'll see how they can push into this one. I think it's going to be a long walk for Team Epsilon. We're going to see David's going to have to run all the way around. They know that that B flag is a difficult one to recover from that trip cap this time. Going to be going slow and steady, but look at this defensive perimeter set up, and suddenly that 20 or so ticket lead is just crumbling, falling through Epsilon's fingers, as we do see MYM with a trip cap. See, finally recaptured it, all lay on Oscar Wow's shoulders, and he couldn't quite step up to the challenge. In the meantime, though, shock. It's really it's a surprise to see Mayek pushing A. I'm, of course, being incredibly sarcastic, as this man is just, if he hasn't got A, he wants it. And this time, he's just going to be hanging around the containers. His whereabouts aren't known, so the element of surprise is gone, and he's just kind of playing a 1v1 duel at the moment. We'll jump in on that player who's dueling with. In fact, there's no point, because Duke is going to come up from behind. He's actually been caught off, but that is going to bring down the player defending A. They're going to be swarming over that, and this AC becoming a reality. But I think Flax has other plans. Jumping straight over to recap this flag. There's absolutely no one to deal with him, because they've just put all their resources into recapturing A. And look at this beautiful response. They're like, okay, we know they're going to rotate to C. We know they're going to spawn in on Flax just in case he needs help. And as 3 players spawn in on Flax, that B site is wide open for Horek to take. The roaming buzzing B, as I have so titled him, is going to be on the move yet again. I mean, if you guys ever see Horek stand still, you know something's wrong. He's probably, you know, his keyboard stopped working or something. Because oh no, yeah, he's actually he stopped moving, guys. No, there is still movement. The guy is he's the opposite of a turret. He's just this kind of roaming SMG threat, which I just would not want to go near if I was in MYM shoes. That's something we haven't seen actually. MYM shoes. Maybe that's a gap in the market. MeetYourMakers trainers. Game walk like the pros. Oh, this is an idea you guys can't steal. I'm gonna make this a reality. Anyway, Mayek does go down, trying to push away. Shock again as this guy yet again. Like every time you see that body, it's just, you know, it's gonna be Mayek. This guy wants A. Doesn't matter even if they have B and C. He's gonna be that threat. He's essentially the Horek of Team MYM. But we have to remember the first half tickets. Obviously, they're going to be slipping away. And is that going to be the threshold met? I believe we're going to see, obviously it was 33 in that first half for MYM. So they have that advantage. And if US slips beneath that, they have about 10 tickets left to 27 of MYM. And we'll see how that goes for them, as we do see the final moments of this first map. Obviously, the second map I didn't mention, we do have Locker coming up second, and Zavod the decider if we need it in this best of 3 here ESL One battlefield. We'll see what Oscar Wow's got on this A site. He predicted it perfectly. Is going to relinquish A from Epsilon's control. And with 18 now to 13, this game could not be closer. We'll see what Oscar Wow's got. He's going to be heavily tagged. He needs to keep hold of this A site. They are securing C though, and that's going to put the advantage in MYM's hands. But straight away, the push onto A is successful for Epsilon. They're going to be taking back that A flag, and this can really quite literally go either way. 16 now. The advantage still sits with the Chinese side. We'll see what they can do on this B flag, as with 12 now, obviously 33 if that number on the US side flips beneath 33. We have the first map winners in the form of MYM, but they are currently on 9. This is very, very neck and neck. Horex going to try and push, avoiding the nades as best he can. The last real chance, the last chance saloon is going to be on this A flag. Punchrill's got to defend it. He's got to do his very best. He's not got too much in the tank left, though, on health. 30 HP remaining. 1 ticket remaining for them, though, and the AC hold has remained supreme. It's 38. There's only 5 tickets in it. Can you believe that the first half was that close? I said these teams were levelly matched, and they really, really are. So fantastic work from both teams. We do see your victor, though, by 3 tickets to MYM. Let me put a little 1. There we go, so I can see. 5 tickets is the correct answer. That was, I mean, my maths has never been my strong point. You know, I apologize, guys. Overall, I think that was a pretty good show from both teams. I wasn't really sure about the mirroring the approach. We saw MYM do exactly the same thing Epsilon did when given that spawn, and in the end it worked out for them. But I feel like that was, I mean, that wasn't MYM's playstyle. They were basically kind of mirroring Epsilon against Epsilon, which, I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe Epsilon's weakness is themselves. Deep. That's a bit deep for for 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening. I apologize. But second map is going to be Locker, guys. A map I'm excited for because this is a map that can be basically bloodbath. I don't like that C flag. That's boring. You know, it's a bit kind of sitting in the cold. But A and B is going to be a brawl, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think the players are going to go get a drink, and I'll do exactly the same, guys. But do not go anywhere. I'll be back in 2-3 minutes. Okay, we are back, and I've had a swig of water. I'm feeling a lot better. Let's see where these two teams are going to be taking us in this second half. Right now we do see MYM, of course, on the left of your screens, and Epsilon on the right. Starting off, we're going to see exactly where they're going to be setting their hearts on. C flag, of course, is actually going to be going over to MYM. They did have a slightly better spawn for it, but immediately Punchrall does go down, and we'll see exactly what this push from Mayek can achieve, because he has been pretty instrumental previously on that A flag. This time on Locker, it's going to be the B one he sets his heart on, and he's going to have trouble capturing that one because there's 3, even 4 MYM bodies around that corner. He does go down. David looking to do something different on the other level, though. Darting around that corner, doesn't want to show too much of himself, just enough to threaten the possibility of capturing B. Just firing a warning shot off. He's actually going to successfully take that away from MYM. And in the meantime, Flax is going to repeat the exact same process over on that C flag. So as the dust settles, we do see an A. It's going to be an A0, actually. I was going to say AC. Waiting for that to cap over before I continue my sentence. There we go. It's going to be an AC hold for MYM. And of course, we'll see what B what Epsilon can do in response to that. Got 3 bodies from Epsilon. They're all going to be heading on towards that outside area. Flax the man to receive them. He's going to be falling down, and so is his teammate Waffy. MYM crumbling, trying to defend that C flag. But Punchroll is going to be coming up from behind, and that's great positioning from him. He hasn't managed to take down one. Finally does just that as he's going to bob outside. Needs to put his sunglasses on because it is bright and cold out here. As he's going to try as best he can to keep this one under MYM control. That AC hold is obviously, in my opinion, ideal, but it does open up that random respawn possibility. And the problem with that is that the man at the moment is going to be David, and he has such a possibility here to capture this single-handed. Look at this, caught with his pants down. It's going to be an easy frag onto Oscar Wow. His teammates can then spawn in on him, and David, gifted that random respawn, manages to secure A for that AB hold. That's going to put out the MYM side in the cold, though. Forces them to come kind of battle their way back in. Not easy to do. Not an easy task at all. Oscar dancing with the flames. He knows he's a player just by trying to try and pray to the hipfire gods. They are not merciful this time. He does go down. And 122 to 117. Punchroll on his way outside again. No surprises there. Looking to stop the player on C. He's actually going to take more fire than he could deal out. Going to play back yet again, and look at this threat. He's actually going to completely retreat. Great play from David on that C flag. That's going to secure it for his team. And in the meantime, Ducky is pulling a David, and he's going to be doing the same thing over on that A flag. In the meantime, B is changing hands, and it's real tit for tat, back and forth here for both teams. Kind of reflected in the tickets. There's only 5 tickets in it, but we'll see how well this can last, or how long this can last. It remains to be seen. Ducky obviously kind of trying to keep the corridor safe, but this is such a huge objective to keep hold of by yourself. Oh, it wasn't by himself. Punchroll corpse is brought back to life. Frankenstein Punchroll is going to make his way outside again. You can tell what Punchroll's been told. Whatever you do, just deal with C. And he's doing just that. He's going to try and recapture it. No one's there to question it, though, but that's because they are throwing a lot of resources. Epsilon's throwing as many bodies as they can for go on towards this A site. And it's going to be successful. I can only assume, yeah, Ducky, the only man that was left to defend it, does go down. And we'll see Mayek roaming around the toilets. There's going to be players beneath him. He just doesn't want to go down. He's actually playing very smart here. He's bobbing and weaving, and look at this. Mayek managed to take down Waffy with that headshot, and now that should open up the possibility of capturing it. Duke is there to pick up the pieces, and that B flag is going to be Epsilon's. They don't care how many people have to die for it. They have secured B. But random respawns and squad spawns are going to mean MYM are fighting for this one. They do not want to forgo B. They know how important and influential that B site can be. It gives you that access. It gives you the easy way route into C. You know you've got the kind of 2 ways you can surprise them. You can go through that mid area, go through the corridors, you can work towards the A. And if you can lock a team in A, you really, it's a great start for a locker game. Because if you can keep hold of them, force them into this horrible kind of death zone we're seeing right now, it's the way forward and the way to victory. 20 tickets, though, in favor of Epsilon right now. Flax doing what he does best, getting a revival in the meantime. Oh, and he got distracted. He cared too much, and it cost him his life. As Waffy does go down as well. The revive really was not worth it. MYM have 1 man to stand on. It's going to be Oscar as he falls as well. 94 now to 70. As Ducky, what have you got for us, Ducky? Absolutely nothing is the answer, as the AEK of Duke is just that little too strong. Punchroll's outside yet again. The man has got his winter coat on, and he is just hanging out, doing damage. Duke goes down as well. Punchroll has got the aim, he's got the brain, but we'll see if he can deal with some more pushes. As I think I was going to say, as I think they're going to be leaving or making way towards it, but Epsilon have other plans. They don't need to, because right now they have that BA hold. And we all know that if you kind of get left out in the cold, it lasted for them last time. That's how they got the initial lead. That's how Epsilon got the initial 20-ticket lead. But we'll see how long it lasts, as surely there's going to be a random respawn at some point now. Ducky, what have you got for us, Ducky? Knows there's going to be players around there. He's got to try and do something to get through the corridor unnoticed and do a surprise cap on B, because he cannot take them down by himself. In fact, no, he's more worried about A. He's going to capture 1 down. He knows there's going to be a second teammate that was following him. He's going to try and get some cover as he can wait for Punchroll to come in as well. Looking to swarm over this side. They find him. They can take him down as well. It was Duke, and Duke is not going to be happy with that one, because that's going to free up the A flag. But in true Epsilon fashion, they have secured C in the meantime. Very swift work from Mayek and co. As now the battle for C is going to be the battle for this first half. There's a 40-ticket deficit now. It has doubled in size since we last took a look at those tickets. And very, very strong start for Epsilon right now. MeetYourMakers, they're not looking too confident on this C flag. They're only really willing to send one player. It's usually punch roll. This time Waffy is filling his shoes. But in the meantime, we've always seen this kind of duo. We've seen the deadly duo, Marsu and David. Whenever they need that C flag, whenever they need that flexibility, that's the duo that delivers. It's a nice bit of alliteration. In the meantime, Mayek hanging out in the toilet yet again. I mean, you don't get much privacy in this toilet, courtesy of Battlefield Evolution. It's pretty rough in Operation Locker. But right now, AEK of his is taking down punch roll with ease, and he's actually acting like kind of as a spawn point now for Epsilon. Gives him that flexibility. He hangs around there. They can get to A, they can get to B so very easily, and they can surprise the Epsilon side. Right now, though, stopping the bleed in its tracks with an AB hold. To 73, though, is a large number, and they're going to be doing their best. MYM fighting to bring that ticket threshold as low as possible. They could come back for this one. There's no doubt about it. If ever there was a map where you can come back from a deficit like this, Locker is that one. Still what Marsu's doing in the corridors. He knows Horek has just fallen there. He knows there's a threat. And it's such a long corridor, you really can't risk it without backup. I think that's exactly what he's doing. Marsu's going to be waiting for his teammates as they do head with this random respawn, and it all falls on David's shoulders. He's doing the spotting game, and he's going to do it beautifully. Look at this, takes down 2, not going to get the 3rd, as Ducky-chan is the man who always seems to make it work. Coming in round now on this ace flag, they know Waffy's there as well. Checking the corners. Pre-fire really is essential on this flag because it can be such a tough one to push in. They're over in that medibay. Nades flying in from both teams. Who's going to come out on top of this one? Waffy is the man of the moment. Manages to secure the A flag. And you can see now it's all a battle for C. Flax knows how much this means to them. They're trying to bring this threshold down. He's going to do just that. Falling. Oh my lord. Great defensive work from yet again the deadly duo of David. Oh, not David this time. Marsu and Mayek. And we do see finally punch roll does secure C, but look at the price they've paid. 7 tickets remain now for the US side of MeetYourMakers. And they're going to really struggle to do anything but damage control. Bring that 57 as low as they possibly can, as those remaining tickets are going to fall away from them. AC holding C. They're not actually lost anyone yet, so holding on to their respawns. Flax isn't going to be coming back in the game now. He is down and out for this first half. And every respawn matters. Punch roll falls as well. This is all just a game of killing. And they're going to be thirsty for blood. Any Epsilon player that can and will find a kill. Actually, no, Horek's playing the smart game. Doesn't need to. Admittedly, it is the easier route. Instead, he opts to capture that C flag, hoping to draw out a player as well. 2 tickets remain as Flax and Waffy are now holding on to those spawns. They know if they can just watch those tickets slip away with that AB hold, it could perhaps get as low as 30. 1 ticket remains now. MYM actually forcing the respawn, just saying right now this is it. Keep hold of A and B for as long as possible. We need as many people as possible to defend this B flag. And we do see it. There it is. The round's off at 38. Not bad for a first half in favor of Epsilon. Make sure I write that down. Well, that was a first half. I'm not sure how impressed I am by the score of Oscar Wow. The man was such an influential role over on that B flag in the first map, and this time didn't perhaps show up to Locker. But regardless, great half from both teams. We'll see where we go in the second. 38 tickets, very similar to the first half of 33. And we'll obviously this is in the semi-finals, guys. If you are interested where they're going to be going, they're going to be battling for the grand final, where they will meet either Fnatic or GC. Fnatic, this is actually interesting because Fnatic in the Cup 1 lost out in the quarterfinals, I believe, or wasn't maybe perhaps the semis, lost out to Epsilon. So if Epsilon do go through, then they do meet Fnatic, or well, of course, or GC, the winner of that GC, the defending champions of Cup 2. So, I mean, all these teams so evenly matched. I love the fact that these teams can go either way. And but in this one, there's a lot of pride on the line, both in this game and the next one coming up as well. But right now, defending champions of this matchup, which were, of course, Epsilon. They won 2-1 last time these teams met in Cup number 1 of this fall season. We'll see if they can repeat that history today. Obviously, first map did actually go in favor of MYM. Epsilon probably not going to be too chuffed with that one, but I mean, it was 2-1. Maybe Epsilon can secure this locker and, of course, Zavod. They have started better than last time. Let's see if I've done this camera right. No, want to glide around the map. Okay, I can't. Well, we'll just stare at this beautiful flag instead. Looking at the... I mean, it's not a particularly nice place. I don't think I'd want to be treated there, in the infirmary. I mean, why are these boxes there? You know, what did they order that they needed to fill in the infirmary? There's so much bigger space. I mean, look at that corner. That could be a delivery corner. It's just not sanitary, really, to be fair. Countdown has begun, and I can stop talking absolute rubbish. I'm sure you guys would appreciate that. But we'll see where they're going to head. Last time we did see as the kind of 10 ticket mark reached. I like to see after 10 tickets. Once the I keep saying dust settles, but once that does occur, we can see exactly how the teams have started. I do think we're going to see that Epsilon double though. That deadly duo last time. Going to be perhaps heading to that C flag again. They kind of they stressed a lot more importance on it than they did than the MYM side. We're just kind of sending punch rule. Let's see. I'm just going to assume punch rule is going to have the same job this time on the other side. But of course, Epsilon on the left of your screens, MYM on the right, and we'll go straight into this one. Bearing in mind that the advantage now sits in Epsilon's court for this second half. 38 ticket advantage. We'll see where they take us as the countdown does hit 0. Let's hit that tabletop and see where these players are going. MYM traveling in a pack. We see the same kind of structure from Epsilon. And here comes the bloodshed. It's going to be in the corridors. Punch rules rush towards the stairs. Nades are going to make it difficult, but they're not going to catch anyone just yet. Straight away, we of course getting their respective sites, and it's going to be a bloodbath for B, but it's not going to be just that. David has managed to secure that A flag rush. He's managed to get in there, managed to take down the defensive players, and if this succeeds, this is an incredible play from Epsilon. You never see the A flag change hands this quickly. They've forced them way back. MYM have to kind of play catch up now, and it's a trip cap this early on. It's going to be short-lived as we do his course, get those random respawns from MYM, forcing them onto that B flag, but they're going to be very happy with that one. Epsilon have caused a complete change around so very early on in this game, and as that initial ticket drop has begun, we do see MYM at a deficit yet again. What's Duke got for us today? Yet again, Duke is a bit of a threat at the moment. You don't want to go into a 1v1 with him, and that's exactly what people are making the mistake of doing. He's been picking up frags left, right, and center at the moment. He's actually picking up flags as well. Look at him capturing that B flag. The players that stop him are really going to be Flax and his bro in arms. Let's see what he can do. It's actually going to be punch rule to come in to initiate that cap and pick up the frags. But 142 to 20, that 20 ticket deficit, however, has already been done. And now the question remains, can they be elastic? Horek, he's done well in the past. Sitting outside, waiting for the pick. Managed to land the spot that's going to give him the information he needs to take him down. But of course, he is remaining in constant fear there is going to be a second player there. And rightfully so, as Waffy has made the journey out towards that C flag. Epsilon going to be easily taking back the B flag. Just chillaxing, maxing, shooting all cool. As Horek, actually. This is a surprise. Horek, the man who's so very good in that close quarters environment, has been sent outside. This is where you need the aim. And I mean, there's no doubt that Horek has it. But you've also got to play this waiting game. You have to be patient. And as I was saying in that on Paracel, that he's one of those players I'd never see standing still. And he's yet again, even here, he's making the moves and pushing in close. There it is. Great start onto Oscar. He knows there's going to be a backup. And that backup was Ducky-chan with a swift pickup. With the Ace 23, Mex back in his bathroom, holding strong in that corridors. And this is a great position because of the destruction. He's able to look straight over towards that corridor area with that extra piece of cover. And, you know, normally you see these players left a little bit out in the cold, quite literally if they're near that C flag. And instead, he hangs out in the destroyed bathroom. It didn't work out for them this time, though. A flag is going to be going back into MYM control alongside that C flag. And it looks like Ducky's got a good position for some surprise frags. Gets one, gets two. And he's going to be looking for the third as well. He knows he's going to be hunted down. If he doesn't get the pre-fire, gets the pre-fire. And that is how you defend the C flag. Ducky just sitting in the corner. Patience paid off with that one. In fact, I say sitting in the corner. He was sitting way up in this kind of crow's nest. Nice positioning from Ducky. And it's all he needs to do now is sit and wait. And look at Oscar Wilde right behind enemy lines here. I think his whereabouts are known. I think he's going to get surely taken down. He does. I think he didn't have any ammo. He's out of ammo completely. So he was just kind of wasting enemy time. And he did just that, actually. 105 to 102, though. Tickets are back to that level marker. Level playing field yet again. These players and teams are so used to this back and forth. They're so used to being this so evenly matched. It's really exciting to see just what is it? What is that kind of that catalyst, that influencing element that makes one team come out supreme? Right now, it could very well be that 38 ticket advantage coming from that first half. Nice play from Waffy, kind of darting back and forth. He knows exactly where the assaulting players are going to be coming from, but when he's left alone like that, he's going to be begging for some squad spawns, and he gets just that. Flax was there just in time to back up and take his position, and he goes down as well. That's going to be a great picks there from Epsilon, and now Elastic Band Oscar is heading for that B flag. David, the man to return the favor, coming down the stairs. Not going to succeed, though, so that B flag is going to change hands, and we are going to see the bleed continue. Just leaving them very little options at the moment. It's really nice to see. With that now a BC hold, Punchroll and Ducky-chan setting themselves up on the outside area. They've got complete control and can really dictate what Epsilon are allowed to push and when. Marsu going to take a frag. Hasn't actually hit one bullet yet, and he knows he's pretty vulnerable. Managed to take one with him. It was Waffy. And David is going to be making sure that B flag finally becomes theirs. They took a bit too much time with that one, and that's going to have cost them about 10-15 tickets. As you can see, Epsilon now down to just 80. And of course, if that does slip for MYM, if that slips beneath that 38 mark, Epsilon will have secured this second map. David going for a stroll. It's in a real kind of very defensive structure from both teams. They've approached it very differently. And when it comes to assaulting it as well, Epsilon, they are a very more kind of just sprint around the corner and hope for the best. We saw a lot more clinical approach from MYM, but both of them seem to be working. David, just by sprinting across as fast as he possibly could, Oscar couldn't quite take him down, and that alone secured that C flag. Very nice work from them. They're looking to get a trip cap, and it's going to really fall on the MYM defensive squad to do something. It's going to be Waffy now left alone to defend this one, and I think he knows this is going to be a bit of a tall order. But by taking A site, all he has to do is stay there. By taking A site away from Epsilon, this is enough to make the bleed go in their favor. But right now, that's two sites that are currently neutral. Finally, we're going to see Punchroll secure B and looking for that C as well. So MYM returning that double cap, two cap advantage as Spawn Beacon Ducky holds strong. Not going to succeed in picking up the frag, dropping the kit. You think he's planning on staying here for the long haul, or not, in fact. Drop the health kit purely out of habit, as he's going to be getting that revive as well. 69 to 70. Looking pretty good. I have to remember that Epsilon are obviously leading with that 38 ticket advantage. I want to stick that up and see MYM have to make the move. They have to grow this lead, this ticket advantage now. If ever there was a time, it would be now here on Operation Locker. It's not a map that you can quite quickly hold on to sites, so it's every ticket really does count. And right now, we can see complete testament to that. We can see Epsilon picking up a trip cap, looking to hold on to it for as long as possible. As Punchroll saving every ticket he can. These guys, any revive that's even a possibility of securing, they are fighting tooth and nail to do just that. 68 to 59 now. Looking pretty weak at the knees for MYM. Has to be remembered that, of course, Locker was not chosen by either team. Well, I mean, sorry, it was chosen by Epsilon because Paracel was MYM's choice. But right now, both teams, despite looking level on this half, first half was a little bit more Epsilon's way, and it's going to be their advantage going into this second half. Flax, I'm not sure what Flax was doing. He knew there was going to be a threat around that A flag. He ends up going down to the deadly duo of Epsilon. And, of course, random respawns are going to be a threat. And I think the person to deal with it was going to be Duke PT. It now falls to Horek as his teammate has fallen down. And that is not a trade Horek wants to try and go for. Obviously, he doesn't have the classic Horek engineer class. He's opting for the support. Or the medic. And now with the BC hold, and with the only real threat for that B cap is going to be Marsu until David catches up with him. They are actually waiting to push in together. And here they come. David has been spotted. He's going to be under some scrutiny, but he's going to get away just about. And that's going to be pretty influential now, because that 38 tickets is very, very close, dangerously close for MYM. And we're going to see that final ticket surely take away. That MYM are holding on to every respawn they can, but with 50 tickets, it's over. And I think they know it. Punchroll just kind of celebrating the loss, as he's just his entire team are holding on to respawns. When this man dies, it is, of course, game over for this second map. First map going in favor of MYM, so it's going to be a 1 apiece. As Epsilon have looked very strong, actually, at the moment. Very nice to see the way they approach that C flag. You can see C, my playmate. Don't know if that's going to translate well into other languages. Kind of primary school song from the UK. But I think that we're just waiting on one ticket. There it goes. It ticks over, and the second map is firmly secured. However, they're all leaving. Did I write it down wrong? I have a horrible feeling. Oh no. Wait a second, everybody. Wait a second. Let's have a look. Did I get it wrong? It's 2-0. It was. I'm sorry, guys. That was not great on my part. I put a big tick, I put a big fat tick in MYM's box. I was like, congratulations, MYM. And I was completely wrong. That's a 2-0 sweep for Epsilon. I am eating my words. I really do apologize, guys. That was a disastrous mistake. I've got a lot on my mind, obviously. This is my first time doing this baby solo, and I'm glad that I really appreciate your guys' patience with me sorting this all out. But regardless, though, guys, I think that's going to be the first game completed, despite my previous thoughts. Regardless, second game is, of course, going to be Fnatic up against GC for the second semi-final of Cup 2 here at ESL One Battlefield. Do not go anywhere, guys. In fact, you can. I'll let you go. Go get a drink, but do come straight back, because we'll be back with about 5-10 minutes with more Battlefield. I'll see you guys then.